Watcher, I wasn't even going to watch this movie. Like, I had no interest in seeing this at all. But I knew I had to do a review for it because a lot of people were looking forward to it. But when I went to see it, I had no idea that it was just going to be one of the worst things I ever subjected my eyes, brain, body, soul, mind, spirit to. It's the worst. Resident Evil 6. Wait, no, you don't get to be on the clapboard. Alright, let me calm down and try to do this in a calm, rational manner. "15 minutes into this movie, I wanted to walk out and ask for a refund. Let me try to describe the experience as best I can. So, imagine that you're watching a car crash on the highway in slow motion. There's blood and guts everywhere, viscera spraying into the air. But you have a condition that forces you to blink every 3 seconds, so you can't really see much. Then all of a sudden, some guy runs up and throws in your face. It gets in your eyes, you can't see properly, and you're seeing everything in this doo-doo stain color. Then you start throwing up, and that's the movie. Yeah, it's that bad. Look, I know the Resident Evil series hasn't exactly been good, so it's a bit of an easy target. But when I think back to the first film, there are a lot of memorable scenes that stick out. The scene where Alice wakes up in the bathtub, the scene where the T-virus falls in slow motion to the ground and crashes open, the liquor, the Red Queen AI, Rain turning into a zombie, and of course, the infamous laser grid defense system that traumatized many children for life. And though the following movies became progressively more and more forgettable, they kept making bank at the box office, so of course the studios kept asking for more. Which brings us to this abortion, Resident Evil blah blah blah. And what is up with the names for these films anyway? I guess after you call your second film Apocalypse, you have to be pretty creative to come up with names for sequels after that. So according to them, we have the Apocalypse, then Extinction, then Afterlife, then Retribution, then Just Give Up, apparently. The final chapter. And if the movie studio couldn't even give the tiniest fart about finding a decent name for this movie, then why should I give a shit about it? So the 6th film in the franchise, and we can't get our Bad Boys 3 yet, picks up about 3 weeks after the last movie. So somehow in 3 weeks, the entirety of humanity has almost been wiped out. There's only 4,000 of us left, oh no! Mila Jovovich is back as Alice, and the Red Queen AI from the previous film now wants her to save humanity. In the previous film, she wanted to destroy humanity, now she wants to save it. Why? I don't know. The movie never explains anybody's motivations that well at all. So blah blah blah, something something something, Alice has to return to Raccoon City, which now looks like a giant bottom hole by the way. Seriously, look at that thing and tell me that it doesn't look like a humongous bottom hole. And she meets up with new people and they join forces and... Wait, why am I even explaining this? Every plot point, every character, every line of dialogue is just an excuse to take us from one poorly directed action scene to another poorly directed action scene. The movie doesn't even care how well its plot lines up with the story that they established in the other films in the series. So what did I like about this? Nothing! There are 1,002,000 action scenes in this movie, and it's edited so poorly that half the time I couldn't even tell what was happening on screen. I know this is probably how Paul W.S. Anderson directs action, but it just doesn't work. Especially not here. Listen, Paul. If you want your movie to be a minus action movie, that's fine. But at least shoot the action clearly and competently so we can understand what's going on. And I had the misfortune of watching this movie in 3D, and that made the experience 10 times worse. Because it's already like you're watching the movie behind this dirty, poo-stained glass, and the 3D just mucks it up even more. So on top of that, when the camera is jumping from one place to the next, you can't follow the action at all. The acting is just bad across the board. The only people who try at all are Mila Jovovich and Ian Glenn. I felt so sorry for poor Mila Jovovich. She's trying so hard with the poorly written dialogue. And Ian Glenn, Jorah from Game of Thrones, knows exactly what kind of movie he's in. So he just dials the over-the-top acting up to 11 and has a blast with it. I kept half expecting him to bust out in maniacal laughter throughout the movie like but he never does. At one point I just started laughing uncontrollably in the cinema and people turned around and was wondering what this idiot was doing in there. So in this scene, Alice is fighting the main villain on top of his tank-like vehicle in the desert and they're surrounded by a horde of zombies. So at one point she pulls out a knife and slices the villain's hand off so she can escape. The movie takes the time to show the hand falling off of the tank and into the horde of zombies, and then further focuses on this one zombie picking the hand up and biting into it like it was a human real deal. And speaking of that tank scene, wait, you weren't. No, you were. You were trying to imitate Mad Max Fury Road, weren't you? Yeah, nice try, Resident Evil. Go die in a drain. And the blasted jump scares, boy. Oh my god. This movie series has moved far away from the horror genre since the first one. So I don't even know why they're trying to scare audiences. But all of a sudden, the room will just go extremely quiet. And then all of a sudden, jump scare. Doesn't even work. And it's just annoying. God help you if you start questioning this film at all while you watch it. Like when Alice is having a conversation with the Red Queen at the beginning of the film, and the Red Queen says, "Behind you." And Alice turns around and then the zombie goes, blah. So what? The zombie was behind there the whole time, just sneaking around on his tippy toes like a ninja. He's a ninja zombie. Ninja zombie! Now, the movie attempts to bring the series full circle by having Alice and her team fight their way into the hive, the same facility from the first movie, instead of out of it like in that movie. But whereas the first movie had the luxury of starting them off in the hive, this movie has to spend so much time building the backstory that all tension, all suspense is totally removed. People just die randomly. Stupidly. The writing is bad too. It's like the writers just try to throw every single bad movie cliche into this one little film. Like Alice walks into a basement at the beginning of the film and she actually says, "Hello, is anybody down here? Is anybody alive? You've been doing this for 10 years.
Hello?
You should know things, Alice. You should know things." And the timeline is all messed up too. The first movie came out in 2002, we're in 2017, so that's supposed to be 15 years, but in the movie they continuously say 10 years ago. So I really had no idea what was going on. The movie also attempts to shock you with twists. Guess what, Resident Evil? It didn't shock me. I figured out all your twists before the end of the movie. So yeah, this movie was a hot mess from start to finish with no redeeming qualities whatsoever. And if you're a fan of the series, you're going to see this movie anyway, regardless of what I say or not. So, you know, you do you. But for the rest of us, I give this one a never watch it. It was big old, sweaty old, quaily old balls. And nobody wants those hanging in your face, do you? But it's no surprise that Resident Evil 6 scrapes the bottom of the film barrel. It actually belongs to a group of movies that people have taken to calling big budget B movies. It retains the over-the-top acting, walking cliches, and mindless action that these movies have given us, but they have a bigger budget and a larger studio behind them. The final chapter fails to connect with audiences on any level, even if you're a fan. It's not fun, it's not filmed well, it's not fair. But at least it's final. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, subscribe. I'm going to go reevaluate my film choices. And remember, I'm not a film critic, but I can definitely rock a review. Bye! See? Annoying, right?